week 8, going back to 1978 when the NFL went to a 16-game schedule. Only the 2007 Patriots that finished 16-0 had a higher mark. These Colts slot in between them and the greatest show on turf, Rams, from 2000. That's just how good they've been. Daniel Jones joined the Pat McAfee show today, talked about his head coach.
I don't know if you know how confident he is in every single play you guys run. Every single one. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is going to be a touch. Look at this. This is going to be a touch. We're about to score this thing. Watch this thing. Yep. Touchdown. Yep. Is that what he's calling plays?
He doesn't give me that in the headset as much, but he will, like, when we're talking about something on the sideline, it'll be like, all right, well, I'm going to call this one. It'll probably go for 20, and then when we get the ball on 20, we'll probably call this one. We'll probably score there, but if we don't score, like, we'll call this play, and then we'll definitely score. So it's all very, very positive. Every play is going to be 15, 20-yarder, and then the next one's going to be 15.
I mean, that's a big change for Daniel Jones, like what he's had in the past, by the way.
A coach who knows he's got really good players.
Yeah, he's like, man, yeah, this is going to work. Dan, the run game, though, is a big reason of that success, a big part of their scheme, right, that the Colts have been able to use. Yeah. How have they had so much success on the ground this season?
Oh, I think that Quentin Nelson and Jonathan Taylor are the best guard running back duo in the NFL. Reality is, this is one of the, if not the most athletic offensive lines in the league, and he's one of the best stop-start backs. This is the long run, okay? You get a down block by the tackle, but then you're pulling both the guard and the center. That's a rarity in the NFL. Now, Jonathan Taylor stops for that little hole, and then watch the start. Both those defenders are deeper and have relatively fair angles on them. They barely touch him. And so you're talking about an offensive line that's very athletic and that can move so well in space, and then a back that has this really rare ability to stop and slow for that hole, and then the start ability to get full speed is special. But watching him follow Quentin Nelson right now was one of the best plays in football.
You know, people keep asking me, like, are the Colts for real? I'm like, at this point,
I think they're one of the most difficult matchups in the NFL offensively.
I love it. All right, bad news, unfortunately, coming out of Denver today is two-time All-Pro corner and Defensive Player of the Year Pat Surtain expected to miss multiple games with a left pectoral strain and could be a candidate for injured reserve. Here's Sean Payton on the impact of losing his defensive star.
That's a big deal, especially when a large part of your plan is dealing with rotation and matchups, and and you're dealing with 3 and 88, and then all of a sudden, that one element goes away. It can be a little bit disruptive.
Yeah, Surtain, a key piece of a Denver defense that has been the toughest on opposing quarterbacks this season. Look at this. Denver, the only team holding opponents under a 40 QBR this season. Remember, QBR is out of 100. And they have the lowest opponent's completion percentage while recording 10 more sacks than any other team this season. Marcus, how does the absence of Surtain potentially change Denver's defensive scheme?
Yeah, but it's a big deal. One, because of one side of the field, and you can, obviously you want to match him up usually with the best receiver, or you put him on number 2 and you allow doubles on the guys away. But you think about how much availability Vance Joseph has to either bring pressure when he wants to feel confident about Patrick Surtain and the guy that he's covering. Also, you think about how well this team pass rushes. At some point, some quarterbacks were going to get greedy and think that they could go and attack Surtain during the season, or they were going to try to see if they could make a play on that side, and it probably was going to end up in an interception. I don't think this dude's absence can be minimized because you look at his stats. It's 21 tackles, no interceptions, 9 pass defense on the year, and you like, what in the hell is going on? He's supposed to be it's because nobody throws over there. And the reason why nobody throws over there, and it shrinks the field for offenses, and it makes offensive coordinators have to have a completely different plan than what they would love to have in a week in which you don't play Patrick Surtain. So this is a big deal for them. I want to see how Vance Joseph adjusts to this up front, because I think pressure or either leaning into a 4-man rush is how you compensate, as opposed to thinking you're going to have somebody to replace it.
Yeah, you're going to need that 4-man rush to win quickly, which they do have some of the quickest edge rushers in football, in Cooper and Bonito. You're probably going to play more zone. I will say, looking at the schedule, and pull this up right here, I do think that there's a lot of winnable games even without Surtain. You're not terribly worried. that pressure against Houston, Vegas, that offensive struggle. The Chiefs game, though, is the one where I think you're really going to miss him, because against that Chiefs offense, which we talked about earlier in the show, you want to have the ability to play man coverage. I'm not sure they'll have the confidence to play as much as they normally do without Surtain, so you're really going to lean on that pressure. Fortunately for Denver, one of the best pass rushes in the entire NFL.
And it is at home. Maybe that makes a difference, too. It's a little easier than having to go on the road, but either way, a huge loss. We'll see if he does end up on IR.